What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've got kind of a weird request to compare these two cameras. Over here on my left I've got the ZV-E10. Over here on my right I've got the Action 4. Two completely different cameras, but there is, I would say, a slight overlap as far as using them for vlogging. Even though the ZV-E10 is a APS-C camera, it's still pretty compact body. You can find really compact lenses and kind of get that sweet spot for that overlap. Now, off the bat, I'll let you know that both cameras are recording in 4K quality. They both are at 30 frames per second. I've got optical steady shot on the lens, no built-in stabilization on the camera, but it does have active stabilization. That's going to crop in even further than what you guys are seeing now. But I'm running this in Catalyst Browse, 10% crop, so it's going to be a little bit tighter than what I'm even seeing on the screen right now. And that's super tight as it is. Talking about focal lengths, now, focal lengths are actually almost identical, 16 millimeters for the ZV-E10 and then 15 on the Action 4, but because the APS-C crop factor, 1.5 times crop, this is about a 24 millimeter crop, so it's super tight, especially running it through the stabilization software. But what do you guys think of that field of view? I got them, right now this is fully extended, both on my arms here, but of course the Action 4 is going to look quite a bit wider. Alright, so this is the audio test coming from the built-in microphones. Microphone check 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. What do you guys think? Alright, so this is the audio test coming from the built-in microphones. Microphone check 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. What do you guys think? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on active steady shot on the Sony ZV-E10, and you guys are going to see just how much more it crops in. Alright, so this is active stabilization over here on the ZV-E10. Should look fairly stable, but again, I am holding this by just the lens alone, so it's probably going to be pretty shaky, but not too bad considering there's no built-in stabilization on the camera, only lens stabilization and then digital stabilization in the body. It's kind of uncomfortable to hold, but that's really my only option without getting another selfie stick here. But yeah, super tight crop, whereas the Action 4 is looking butter, super wide. Now regarding the Action 4, it does have 3 levels of stabilization and off. So it has Rock Steady Plus, which is what I'm using now, and it also has Horizon Lock, where I can actually turn the camera 45 degrees and it will lock onto that horizon, keeping it steady. Check out the eye tracking on the ZV-E10. Even though I've got my sunglasses on, it still knows exactly where to focus. It's pretty cool. So talking about some of the differences here, so obviously the biggest difference is the overall size. ZV-E10 is a dedicated mirrorless APS-C camera. Action 4, it's an action cam, and it's also one of the smallest action cams as far as the big three. I'm talking about DJI Action, GoPro Hero 12, and then Insta360 Ace Pro. Ace Pro being the largest and the heaviest. GoPro kind of sits in the middle. And then the Action 4, of course, the smallest and the lightest. So number one, I would not take the ZV-E10 on something that's aggressive and, prone to water damage or dirt, like mountain biking or hiking, running, anything like that. But at the same time, I would never take the Action 4 on a photo shoot or an actual video shoot where I'm filming a subject, especially far away as well. Action 4 really is good for action, sports, things like that. Now you can film subjects if they're maybe about, say, 10 or 20 feet away, but past that, it's like they're really, really tiny. And then focusing distance on the Action 4 is not great. It really has a hard time focusing on anything closer than about 1.5 feet. So as I bring this camera closer to my sunglasses, you're gonna notice it's probably out of focus. But then once I bring it back to about 1.5 feet, all of a sudden, I'm in focus. And I'm sure the background's gonna be in focus as well, which brings me to my next comparison, which is field of view. So of course, on the ZV-E10 here, I'm gonna be super in focus, super sharp, and then I'm gonna get a little bit of that background blur, call it bokeh. Once I use something like a 1.8 or even a 1.4, that bokeh becomes even more significant and I get more separation from my background. Whereas on the Action 4, everything's in focus. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn these cameras around and just film some subjects, trees, lights, benches, bridges, things like that, and you guys can get a comparison of how it is to film with these. So I'm holding these cameras at exactly the same distance just to get you guys a good comparison of what to expect. This is about 6 inches away from that leaf there. I'm sure the Action 4 is going to have a hard time focusing on it, whereas the ZV-E10 shouldn't have a problem at that close of a distance. And again, check out that separation from the background. ZV-E10 should be doing an amazing job at that. Check those out. So of course, a huge benefit of the ZV-E10 has a zoom lens. I could zoom in, pull it up to about 50, and then I have a little bit of an extra 1.5 zoom. It's called clarity zoom. How's that look? Zoom back out. All right, let's go ahead and try the digital zoom on the Action 4. It's all the way up to 2x, and that is as much zoom as you can get out of this camera. Check out that difference. 2x on the Action 4. We're doing 50 millimeters plus 1.5 on the ZV-E10. It's about 2 feet away from that sign. It's about 1 foot. It's about 6 inches. Now see on the ZV-E10 how sharp and crisp those leaves are, and everything in the background is blurred out. Whereas on the Action 4, if I do that, everything is in focus, everything's sharp, and you really don't know what to focus on. You just get a little bit more of a cinematic view on that ZV-E10. Now with the Action 4, I can actually get 10-bit color. ZV-E10 is 8-bit color only. Both of them can shoot S-Log, D-Log. I actually have the Sony set to HLG3, trying that out. And then yeah, D-Log M on the Action 4. Alright you guys, I'm going to go ahead and do a low light test with both of these cameras once the sun goes down. It's literally about noon right now, so I've got the sun like right on top of my head right now. But let's check out the night test in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so it's about 6 o'clock at night. This is my night test. Currently have stabilization turned off on both cameras actually. The ZV-E10, I'm shooting manual mode. I've got 1/200 shutter speed, f3.5, and then an ISO of 2500. And then with the DJI again, I also have stabilization turned off, but essentially turning on stabilization with this low light turns out really bad results. So hopefully I can get some pretty good results with this and cropping it about 10%. So let's go ahead. There's a little light above me right here, so that should look a little bit better. Let's go and walk around a little bit. How's that stabilization looking? Again, handheld on both of these, no gimbal. Just walking around here. It's about to get pretty dark and pretty scary right now. So yeah, on the screens right now, it is completely 100% black. Not sure if there's any detail coming out through either of these cameras right now. Again, if I change the lens on the ZV-E10 to something like a 1.8 or 1.4, be able to get way more light into the camera. But again, we're dealing with an f3.5. And also stabilization when it gets dark is not so great. So not sure how these are looking right now, but we'll find out when I get home. How's that stab looking? Pretty good? pretty bad. Let me know what y'all think. As I turn the camera with my body, you can see how my face kind of pivots with that stabilization there. And then you can see with the Action 4, it's even more aggressive. Alright you guys, so that's my comparison on the ZV-E10 and the DJI Action 4. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Which camera is for you? Are you looking for more compact, weatherproof, durability, action sports for the Action 4? Or are you more of a professional filmographer, videographer, photographer? You want some interchangeable lenses, greater depth of field, more adjustability with the ZV-E10. Alright guys, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!